Django at a glance. Let's check this text message real quick. Cool. Because Django, blah, blah, blah. The goal of this documentation is to give you enough technical specifics to understand how Django works. But it's not intended to be a tutorial or even a reference. But we got both. When you're ready to start a project, you can start with a tutorial. Okay, I'll keep that in my back pocket. Or dive right into more detailed documentation. So it says it's going to give you enough technical specifics to understand how Django works. So that's pretty good. Good to know. Okay, so the first part talks about Django, design your model. Cool. Although you can use Django without a database. You can use Django without a database. Okay. Oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. You don't need Django to use a database. You don't need a database to use Django. I guess you can just use, like the templates. Okay, it comes with an object relational mapper. That's always comes in handy. In which you describe your database layout in Python code. What does this have to say? I'll just link to Wikipedia. You don't need to go deep into that. The data model syntax. What does that take you to? Data model syntax. Get that later. The data model syntax offers many rich ways of representing your model. So far, it's been solving many years' worth of database schema problems. Here's a quick example. So, it's my site, news, and then it has models.py. You're importing the models. Looks like that's coming from Django. And you have reporter, article. Okay, so they're modeling this reporter, importing. Oh, I guess this is coming from the framework. Inheriting models, full name, and you're able to give a full name and toString. Then you're modeling an article, publication date, headline, content, reporter. But that's interesting. So this actually looks like it is a join table because it's using a foreign key right here of reporter, which is right there. So it looks like it's doing like a many-to-many relationship with the join table in between. So probably creating like a reporter article table to where a reporter can have many articles and articles can belong to many reporters. I guess that's how that would work. Makes sense. Install it. Next, run Django command line utility, create the database tables automatically. So these are some of the command line utilities. So you're going to use Python manage py, make migrations, Python manage migrate. The make migration command, and this takes us to here too. Make migration. Let's go here first. The make migration command looks at all your available models. And then it creates migrations for whichever tables don't already exist. So we're going to use make migrations whenever we create new tables, and it's going to look through it and see what doesn't exist and create migrations for it. Then we can run migrate, and that runs migration and creates the table. As well as optional provide a much richer schema control. I don't know what that means. So I got migrations there, make migrations there, models, a lot of extra stuff. Put that over here. Okay, so make migrations and migrate. We know what those are going to do. Enjoy the free API. What is that? With that, you've gotten a free and rich Python API to access your data. Interesting. The API is created on the fly. No code generation necessary. What are you talking about? Import the models we create, blah, blah, blah. News out, so it says from news model import. Okay, so they're importing these models that you just created. Import article, reporter. No reporters are in the system yet. So reporters.object all. So I'm pretty sure this is saying, hey, get me all of the reporters that are in the database. Not sure what query set is going to do. Oh, I think this is what they actually called, and then this is what came back. The query set, it was empty. So this one's going to create a new reporter. R is equal to reporter. Full name, John Smith. Okay. Save the object into the database. R.save, so that saves it. That's interesting. R.id, it gives it an ID. I'm assuming that's what that is. Now the reporter is in the database. Okay, so it goes to all, then it shows you everything that's in the database. Fields are represented as attributes on the Python object. Yep, so r.first name, full name. Okay. interesting so far, not too crazy. It's understandable. Django provides a rich database lookup API. Reporter.objects.getId equals 1. Yep, so that's pretty much saying the same thing, except for instead of all, you put a get and it's going to give you ID. You put the ID and it's going to give you that ID. So if we do the same thing, put somebody else in there, Jane Smith, r.save, you're going to get an ID of 2, and then we can put 2 here in the report, Jane Smith. Objects get full name starts with. Oh, that's interesting. It's like a SQL query. So it's probably doing an SQL query in the background. Full name that starts with. Full name that contains. That's crazy. And then you try to get 2 and get an error saying it doesn't exist. How long is this? This is pretty long. I'm not gonna go through this in one video. I'm gonna cut videos into 2. I'm at 7 minutes already. So Smith does not exist. From date time, import date. What is this? Oh, so this one's creating an article. What did this do up there? You created a reporter. So in this one, you're going to create an article. And you're importing the date. So A is giving you the article. And you're going to put a publication date in there. And a headline. And some content. And you're going to give it a reporter. And save it. That's interesting because I think that's what I was looking at up here. So it's going to take a publication date, a headline, content, and reporter. And this reporter could be is from this reporter. So we created, say, John Smith as a reporter in the model, and then this takes a reporter and it takes that foreign key. So I'm pretty sure in the background this is going to create a join table, which is pretty interesting. So it saved that. So now you can look at all the objects. Article Django is cool because that's what we put up there. And it says article object gets API access to related reporter objects. Article object gets API access to related. How the hell is that? So you got R is equal to a.reporter. Oh, that's because this article has a reporter, and that reporter is going to have that same thing that everything that the reporter has, like get full name. I think that's the only thing that it had. Yeah, just full name. So if it had something else, you'll be able to access all the things that a reporter has because you gave article a reporter. Where am I at? I'm at 9 minutes, 30 seconds. I'll finish this up and I'll make a part 2 of this, going through the docs. And vice versa. Reporter objects get API access. So R is now that reporter. Article set all. What is article set? So R is a.reporter. So R is a reporter. So if R is a reporter, how does R get article? Reporter objects get. Oh, it's saying it goes backwards. It's reversible. So articles get everything that the reporter has, and the reporter can get everything the article has. So if we go back up to article, yeah, there's nothing about set. So what is that? Article.set. Article set all. I'm not sure what this article set all is. It's a get. It's supposed to be get all. That's interesting. I have no idea where they got that from. Set all? I don't know if that's an error or I don't get this one. Article set all. Oh, okay. Query. Yeah, I still don't get it. Because I would think you would do article. You would run this one right here. So how is the article set all? That doesn't make sense. I had to go through the code and run it, but I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. Article set? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. The API follows the relationships as far as you need, performing efficient joins. That's what I was saying. It created that join behind the scene. This finds all articles by reporter whose name starts with John. So you can do article.objects filter and then find the reporter's name starts with John. And it gives you everything that John wrote, the articles. Change an object by altering its attributes and call it save. So you can just do R, full name, okay, save, and delete. That is pretty interesting. And I don't think there's pretty much more other than going through the bottom of this. I'll go through that in another video. I don't really have anything much to say about that other than, yeah, it's kind of interesting. That you could just design the model And so now you have these 3 models, which is you have a reporter model, article model, and every attribute. And then what you're doing here is giving the article a reporter, which then creates this join table, and that allows you to able to search all of the articles that this reporter wrote, and it returns that using the API that they give you. And everything else seems really straightforward, and I don't know, I like it. It seems pretty simple, well, complex but easy to understand. The only thing that I really didn't get was this part. I don't know if that's an error or why would it just be article underline set. But yeah, I'm ready to dive in and start practicing more with this. So I'll probably be able to practice more when I get to the tutorials, or maybe just go through here and play with it and build a few of these things. And yeah, I'll go through this in another video.